Bum 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 bum
Drama.
bum. Ba-ba-da-ba, dun,
Action.
dun, 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 ba-dum, bam, bam,
Comedy.
ba-dum, tss, bum, ba-dun, dun, 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 dun,
Palace
dun, dun, dun,
intrigue.
dun, 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 dun,
Story
dun, bum, bum,
Squad
bum,
presents
dun,
Clash
dun,
of the
dun, 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 dun.
Pencils. Oh, wow. Good evening. It is a mild Jupiter Day night here in Milford, Delaware. A top three slugfest continues between Slice and Racontus. Ehud also back in the top three. Who's going to take home the prize tonight? The answers to that and more can only be found over the next 30 minutes here on the Clash of the Pencils nightly live stream, the most watched creative writing esport league live stream in the history of the internet. I am your host, Tom Sherman. We're here as we are every weeknight to review the top three short stories submitted from around the net, get the list scores, see who's atop the leaderboard, and of course, read through the top 5 sentences of the night. A quick reminder for all the folks out there how to play Clash of the Pencils. At the end of each night, at the end of each live stream, we'll reveal the next day's prompt. And then all you have to do is grab a pen and a paper, handwrite a quick one-page story in response, and then snap a pic and upload it before time expires. And then boom, it is that easy and you're in the game. From there, we field anywhere between zeros and tens of submissions every day, which then get run through a high-tech data science algorithm known as Storybot 3000, who uses, among other things, catchy jingles to analyze every story for character, plot, and setting. We then take Storybot's top 3 picks and let you, the public, determine tonight's champion, and they will win, besides, of course, fame and glory, one of these, an IOU NFT. This is a unique 1 out of 10,000 NFT that's actually an IOU for a future NFT from an upcoming drop from Story Squad. And what exactly does that mean? Well, the current estimated cash value of an IOU NFT is $100 US, but that's not quite the full value one can get from NFTs. Think of NFTs like keys to the future. Right now, as humans, we interact with businesses and organizations much like ants might their queen, slaving away day in and day out for resources to give to the queen so that she may survive. NFTs turn this one-directional relationship into a community partnership. Owning NFTs of organizations will allow those owners special perks like early access to future products, exclusive content behind paywalls, and access to the inner community. Not only that, but NFTs are transferable, allowing owners to sell at a premium, which in turn appreciate all other NFTs held by community members. So NFTs are part art, part online identity, part admission to a virtual country club, part crypto speculation, part generational wealth, and all real, baby. Also, you know what? Fun fact, NFTs make great Christmas gifts, apparently. That's what I'm being told. Pass them out instead of holiday cards, and you might be the talk of the town. I don't know. Just a thought. Just a thought. But speaking of just a thought, alongside me tonight, we have one of the great American thinkers of the 21st century to help us break down Storybot's top 3 picks. And that is the certified master of by the Breadloaf School of English, which does sound delicious, by the way. This we have Greg, the reader Peterson. Thanks for taking a break. What you reading there tonight?
When a comma alone is used to separate two independent clauses, the result is known as a comma splices. Comma splices are always incorrect.
Wow. Some little light reading there, huh? A little SAT grammar.
Just brushing up on the fundamentals.
Hey, spliced comma is always incorrect, and I see why you're reading that. Because if we take a look at tonight's prompt, what is the origin of the phrase "let the cat out of the bag"? And I feel like a improperly spliced comma would be kind of like letting a cat out of a bag.
It's like letting a cat out of a bag and then throwing it on a chalkboard as it shrieks with its claws down. Horrible sound.
That sounds
Comma
horrible.
splices are the devil, Tom. I've had sick of correcting them.
Well,
You want to know
good-
what you need to do to fix a comma splice? You
What's
need to put a coordinating conjunction. And, but, or, for, nor, yet, so.
wow. All right. That's good to know. That's good to know. Luckily for our authors, grammar and spelling don't matter in Storybot 3000's analysis. The Storybot's just going for the Sussex County S'more, which is character, plot, and setting. Dropping those 3 marshmallows on that nacho cheese Dorito. So if you were one of the authors, where would you go with this prompt tonight of letting the cat out of the bag?
I threw it down to slice last night.
Mm-hmm.
Some sort of stream of consciousness of Schrodinger's cat. I don't know how to say, is it Schrödinger? That umlaut really throws me, but I want to know that a cat that is uncertainly alive or not alive at the same time.
That is a fact. A radioactive cat, always a good plot device. I mean, if you've seen it once,
it's almost cliche at this point, but it's cliche for a reason. It works.
That's right. And taking a look at the current weekly leaderboard, Slice on top with 420 points. Rack-and-Toos and Ehud neck at 305 and 303 apiece. So tonight, I mean, as it is on most Thursday nights, it's a big night. Rack-and-Toos and Ehud really need to take home first place if they want to hope for a chance at the weekly shot.
Yeah, this is where I don't know, the wheat gets separated from the chaff.
Mm-hmm.
The bantams get separated from what's lower than peewee from t-ball. All the differentiation happens on this Thursday night wedge, Tom.
That's a fact. What are bantams? We can get into that later.
Isn't that like bantam ball? Like, isn't that a level of Little League?
I'll believe it. I'll believe it.
More travel. It's like right below like the travel team.
Oh, okay.
Travel, that's a whole thing. But bantam's like a level. It's pretty good.
That makes sense. I think I never got to that level, and that's why I don't know what it is.
All right. It's like this is where we separate the corporals from the lieutenants.
Right. Yeah. And they just said, Sherman, go get some Gatorade. I don't know. It's but anyways, let's not dwell on
torture these analogies as far as they can go, Tom. Let's really torture these analogies.
Let's get in there. No, let's not. Let's just keep going forward. Let's plow through this storm like a herd of buffalo, and let's just get into the top 3. We had 3 picks come in from Storybot 3000, and we're going to start tonight with Ehud. This is Ehud's jaunt.
My uncle used to play a game.
He would drive around our neighborhood each December, collecting all the feral cats,
quote, flea-ridden beasts,
unquote.
He'd take them back to his garage, quote, Santa's workshop,
unquote,
and painstakingly place each cat in an ornately embroidered silk bag
before loading up his cherry red Ford F-150,
quote, Rudolph,
unquote.
Then Uncle Nick,
he preferred to go by
quote, Saint,
would drive
into the rich part of
and
town
hang the bags on the doors of every politician, judge, and banker
with a note,
quote,
if you don't want your riches to turn to rags, don't let the cat out of the bag.
If they showed up to their obligations mauled,
no one would mention it.
But we all took note
and pillaged their homes
for
Christmas
gifts.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, narrator's uncle plays a game as a holiday tradition. After collecting all the feral cats around the neighborhood, he would proceed to bag the cats and deliver them to powerful, wealthy people around town, with a warning not to open the bag. And if unheeded, townsfolk would notice the scratches at the next public appearance and pilfer their houses for gifts.
Wow. It begs for it. This felt like a screen treatment for something that needed to be presented in a much more visual medium. The cats, the cats, the I could see a montage of rounding up these cats in the F-150 truck, the red F-150 truck, and then letting them in and like driving to like the nice part of town, and then like don't open this, and then like like that really excited me as a reader. I am wondering about the town's level of coordination to like pull off like colluding in such a way on a grassroots level to like coordinate a system of robberies for people that seemingly would have most of the institutional like law power in their pocket.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, I guess, in the Dorito here, the setting feels like the world for such a conspiracy to get such mass approval. I question the world. I actually question the world. I liked the plot. I thought this was wildly subversive as a plot, and these characters. I don't know. It felt kind of like small town Tyler Durden antics.
Yeah. That's I wrote it. It reminded me a lot of The Lottery with Shirley Jackson. I don't know if you've read that short story. Classic, yeah.
Classic.
Where it's like the whole town like is in on this conspiracy, and like if you get picked, kind of like you're in.
That's my big criticism of that. It's like it's the last line of that is something like it's not fair, it's not right. You know, and it's like, what kind of town is doing this lottery? This is some wild stuff, but I guess, you know, these are the times we live in. America 2021.
You know, it's interesting stuff. Kind of psychotic of this uncle character for sure, but you know, hey, that's a
I did want to know what was the like what did the uncle character want in delivering these bags? Well, was there an end game other than mayhem?
I don't know if it seemed like he really enjoyed like the whole Santa Claus thing, right? Like he called his garage Santa's workshop, and he called his truck Rudolph, and he wanted to go by Saint instead of, you know, Saint Nick type deal. Like there was something going on about like, instead of like, you know, the original Saint Nick would throw bags of gold down people's chimneys, and this is like throwing a bag of cats onto people's front porch, but not people that need a bag of, you know, people needed the bag of gold, but no one really needs a feral cat.
I'm a little interested too in like the fact that they're going to be able to come into contact to witness like the scratches on the faces means that these are like repeated reaction, like engagements in like some sort of like social fabric that's very small and intimate. And so, like, if you're gonna just be running into people with scratches, like, I bet word's gonna get around that some deranged lunatic in a red F-150 is delivering these help packages around Christmas time. And then I'm thinking, like, is the mob justice descending on the victims of this crime, or is the mob justice going to turn on this delusional St. Nicholas adjacent character?
I mean, there's no way to tell, really. There's no way to tell. And also check this out. This is a noteworthy submission too, because scrappy submission by Ehud came in on the back of a postage box.
Back of an envelope.
Yeah.
This is immature.
That is a you know, don't let a lack of a paper and pen, you know, stop you.
Yeah, that's like I'd like to award some bonus points. Storybot loves scrappy making it work moments.
That is a fact. So great start to the night. Interesting start to the night by Ehud. And let's keep it moving on to our second story of the night. This one coming from Racontus. Who let the cat out of the bag? Demanded the boss.
I don't know.
She just got out.
said Milton plainly. Don't give me that.
Cats don't just get out of bags. The boss retorted.
Meow, meow,
said the cat, questioning the boss's logic.
Well,
Milton shrugged.
Okay,
the boss said. Thumb and forefinger rubbing the bridge of his nose.
Walk me through what happened.
Well, the cat was in the bag,
like you said.
Milton explained.
Right.
And now you see she's over there, not in the bag. Milton concluded, gesturing to the gray cat.
Meow, meow,
said the cat, agreeing with assessment.
Right.
So how do you explain it? The boss asked again.
I don't know, boss.
Milton was at a loss.
Okay.
Milt,
why don't you take a break?
Get some air.
The boss said.
Not unkindly. Milton shuffled away and the feline sack puzzle as he dragged on a cigarette outside the warehouse.
He's a good guy.
Milton thought of his boss.
Not like the papers say.
He's all right. Back inside, the boss looked at Bruno, his number two guy.
What do you think, Bruno?
I don't know. He replied.
The only guy in here was Milton.
And if he doesn't know how it got out, how does anyone?
Meow, meow,
said the cat, perched on a crate in the corner, as if to remind the man that it was indeed out of the bag. The boss shook his head.
Well, there's no getting it back in once it's out. You gotta have to take care of this. Go get Milton.
Bruno sighed. Resigned.
He liked Milton.
But
that guy was careless.
Bruno fetched Milton and returned to see the doors had been closed and the warehouse was empty, except for the guys in dapper suits posted as lookouts. The boss emerged from the small office holding a box in one hand. It was wrapped in a bright striped paper. Its lid with a large bow on top was in his other.
Now,
you two are gonna find that cat. Get it into this box.
And bring it to my home in 2 hours.
Lucy's party starts at 3, and she's expecting a kitten. That cat may be out of the bag, boys, but it's gonna get into this box and then into my daughter's hands. I don't have to tell you what happens if you don't get this done. Bruno and Milton nodded.
Meow, meow,
said the cat as she trotted away to hide behind a pallet. She was not going to make this easy. Right. A frustrated mob boss questions his henchman in number 2 about how and why a previously bagged cat is now unbagged in the warehouse. After a moment alone to contemplate, the boss locks the warehouse and tells the pair they have a feline deadline of 3 o'clock to get the cat to the daughter's birthday party. Otherwise, they won't be feline fine or alive, for that matter. The cat decides to play mouse in the upcoming cat and mouse chase.
Feline deadline. That was nice.
Yeah, had to work that in. That's one of the perks of the job.
All right. My favorite line was, cats just don't get out of bags. Yes, you do. Have you ever had a cat? The logic there is totally nonsensical. Love it. I love how a mob boss can just delusionally dictate what it is. And Rockin' Twos is amazing at henchman dialogue. Bubbling, building a world out of really like petty criminal enterprise through really, really bumbling idiot henchman number 2 dialogue. Mm-hmm. It's fabulous. The whole thing was fabulous. At first, I kept thinking of like, who let the cat out of the bag? I was like, is this like, are they thinking that who let the cat out of the bag is like a rat inside or a mole inside the organization? And that like the newspaper, we had a little bit of a blip. We're saying it's not like the papers say that this guy's a bad guy, the boss, right? And so I kept feeling like maybe this was doing some, I don't know, symbolic work on, criminal conspiracies and keeping that under wraps outside of like a rumor network. And this was about trying to identify. It's funny that the word rat is so associated with like gangster movies and divulging things.
Right.
It's It seemed I wanted to know more about the hustle and the criminal enterprise. What do these people do to make money? How are they able to scale their operations to where there is like this level of there's a number 2 and at least an under level of a number 3. Um, yeah,
And yet unable to keep a cat in a bag.
right. Being so bad at their jobs. They're clearly like doing well enough to give the boss the ability to give this cute cat a gift to his daughter. It 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 seems like Rockin' 2 subscribes to the Iceberg Theory in which only a little bit, and this is straight out of Hemingway, where it's like 10% of the story's emotional resonance is above the surface, explicitly expressed at all it's through dialogue, and the rest of this is to interpret under the surface. Here, I'm not invested in the emotional worlds of these characters so much as I am in the actual criminal enterprise. I want to know the economics of how they're able to keep existing. As a fledgling entrepreneur, I want to know, how is it possible that they can be so bad at wrangling a cat? Which I did empathize with that feeling. Yeah. Bring this back. Let's get back into close reading and less psychoanalysis of me.
Yeah, first off, my favorite line was the henchman's when he was like, "Yeah, I don't. It was over there. Like it was in the bag, and now it's over there. I don't like it was." I think the characters really. I mean, we had 3 main characters that were humans, and the cat was a great character. It was dialoguing as well, responding, questioning. I enjoyed the plot a lot. I mean, that was also moved along by the cat very well, where there was always the cat was either questioning the boss or it was reminding everyone it was there to add to that tension and infuriation and frustration. And then again, the setting. I mean, we had the warehouse. It's got a crate, pallets, office. It was all there. Maybe the weakest of the 3 marshmallows for Racontus, but I mean, still very strong overall.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah,
Fun
it was a great
through petty criminal underworld.
Yeah, no,
Holiday.
I mean,
it was they had a touchy feel like a cat for a birthday present.
The guy just wants to get a cat to his daughter. How hard is that?
Yeah.
And then you get Milton involved.
Oh man, Milton.
I don't like. No, I love it. I would watch that movie 10 out of 10 times. I'm
How
sure.
long do you think that movie would be?
Long enough to get a sequel and long enough to get a cult following.
All right.
I don't know. How long do you think it would
I would
be?
think it was like a 4-minute short.
Oh, of like just that scene. Yeah, I think it was about 3 minutes or so that Storybot produced. So it'd be about that. All right. And also I just think it's great the characters that Racontus brings, they always have like the dialogue that the boss says, like true instead of through, like it's when it's read out, I don't know, it's just those minor details just bring a lot home.
Authentic pops of vernacular.
All right, so here we are, final story of the night to go through and analyze. This one coming from Slice, and previously, you'd hoped for some Schrodinger cat action. Let's see if that happens. Exercise, so crucial for mental and physical health, longevity. Sometimes requires creative action to be regimented, especially for those who need it most. I've been a physical trainer for over 3 years. In that time, I've worked in corporate office gyms, personally with some fats, and in the big box gyms. One thing all these gigs had in common was motivation. It was there on some level, whether workers lifted to blow off the 8-hour psychosis of collection calls, the January 1st to 15th diet and exercise sprint of the deathly corpulent, or the treadmill and elliptical surfs with their earbuds, protein shakes, and workout gear they just got from Prime this morning. They all had a drive, and it bored me. I needed to reach the untouchable. That's how I found myself here at Mossy Knoll Retreat Castle. It was rough at first. The gymnasium was full of old people. They were wheeled in and left. Some scatted folding chair seats themselves. Others exercised their bowels into bags they saved for later. After a month, I admit, I lost heart. The smell of that room stayed in my nostrils, regardless of hot showers, incense, and other rituals I performed at home. Sweaty folds and sore flesh reminded me of Band-Aids chewed and spit on the ballpark bathroom floors. It changed one drive home, though. A cat's eyes shone in the dark in front of my car as I glanced up from Instagram. I swerved and stopped, then jetted from my seat with my gym bag more focused than ever. I tackled the cat, peeled off his collar, and put him in the bag. Back at my apartment, I plotted the following session and fed the cat coffee. The next day, I asked to bring class into the auditorium, a smaller space, because we'd be doing more breathing exercises and needed closeness to feel each other's space. Proprioception. The folks packed in, assuming the usual positions. I placed my gym bag on the floor and in the center of the room and locked the door. The bag wiggled a bit, and then I unzipped it. Then, after a second, the cat sprang out, startling the class, who jumped from their seats and ran maniacally around the room. After an hour, I felt good they got their exercise. One guy's heart stopped, but that was fated anyways. The janitors hated me for the mess it made, but that's how class went on from that day. All right, a physical trainer tires of working with motivated people and searches for a challenge motivating the unmotivated at a retirement home. Broken after only a month, the trainer looks up from social media on the drive home, sees and steals a pet cat, jacks it up on coffee, and then schedules a smaller room for the next class and releases the cat into the herd of seniors, finally getting that motivation that they desire. And although it angers the janitors, it's the trainer's new future. I don't know what that word is, but you get it. That's what that's what they're doing from now on.
Oh man. I liked how I want to know what this guy wanted and why he was like a motivation junkie that was seeking the challenge of it, but in anonymity. It was clear that this guy was in some ways so numbed, I don't know, to a kind of corporate lifestyle in which motivation has been so gamified that it ceases to seem as authentic drives of people in any sort of traditional way, and now it is totally incentivized towards kind of corporate ends and incentive structures, and it's replete with the satire of all the latest Amazon delivered workout gear and barking orders. I could just see that. And then I like the fact that we get some sort of contrarian character who's saying, you know what? I want to go motivate the unmotivated at, where was it? The Mossy Knoll Retreat Castle with, all the challenge that comes with giving up bodies that are basically about to expire. And what do you do in order to do that? You tap in to the oldest reptilian part of the brain by releasing a feral animal jacked up on caffeine into a closed, confined space in some sort of prehistoric close quarters battle that's going to get all of those organic neurotransmitters deshackled from the corporate alignment and just running in terror as a new form of subversive exercise therapy. I thought it was great. It was the plot, as much as I love the intellectual premise of the plot, it didn't feel as tight on the language from Slice as we've come to know. It felt like a rough draft. It didn't have that moment of wordplay. There were some like referring to him as some fats or some deathly corpulent made me chuckle, but it was kind of mean. It wasn't clever. And I want if it's gonna be mean, it has to be clever. It's kind of a rule of thumb to get away with it. This character also stealing a pet cat and feeding it coffee. You know,
Yep.
it felt like the hero needed to be made more righteous or serving some sort of end that was less just straight up jerkish.
Right. Well, I wrote for in the characters section of my notes here. It just says one of those psycho fitness trainers, and like I can just see like the dude that's like, whoa, like we're gonna like jacking everybody up all the time, and then it's like when you lose that fire, how does that person get it back? How do they motivate themselves again? And it's by going completely psychotic and stealing a family cat and releasing it into the into a class. I mean, yeah, there's something about the character that's it's almost an anti-hero. It's not quite a hero. It's there's something there. I did think I thought the plot had some going to seek the unmotivated and then the regret and that kind of like moment of despair and then ultimately triumphing by figuring out that they're going to release this cat into the classroom. But I don't know. The setting was pretty vivid for me as well here, where that whole like I've worked a job before. I haven't worked a job like this, but I used to work on a food truck where we would grill sausages all day over a wood fire, and it would be like 120 degrees out, and we're cooking these sausages all day, and like you would come home and you would just smell like sausage. You'd be caked in sausage bratwurst fat and wood smoke.
No. Smell in close quarters really like intensifies the sense of claustrophobia.
Yeah. So I could totally relate to this whole thing of like not being able to anyways, it was good. It was a good story. I was on board. I don't know. I don't know what to say. And that's why it's a good time to say none of this matters. That's are you frozen or am I?
I'm not.
Oh, you're not frozen.
I'm just thinking about the void.
Okay, good. So yeah, none of this matters. As you can tell, staring into the void, the only people's opinion that does matter is number one, Storybot 3000, and we just saw Storybot's top 3 picks, and then number 2 is you, the public out there, and that's who's going to vote and decide who actually wins this game tonight. So what you and I've just done now, Greg, for the past 30 minutes and analyze these stories with a fine tooth comb. That's just for kicks. That's just because we have fun doing that.
It's full of sound and fury signifying nothing.
That is poetic and correct. So all I have to do now is hit this button here on Storybot 3000. And I'm getting the proper beeps and boops that we have in fact updated the leaderboard properly. So let's just hit refresh here and see what's happening. And boom, Racontus on top. Bang. With 165 points. Slice in second with 140, and then Ehud in third with 100. Mustard Pickle also picking up 41 points on the day. But big win here for Racontus. So let's see how that changes the weekly leaderboard. And yeah, so 560 points for Slice, 470 for Racontus, solidly in second place over Ehud, and only a mere 110 points behind Slice. So let's see. I mean, you're going to need a second place or a first place finish, as well as Slice not making the top 3. That's kind of a tall order. I don't know if that's, I mean, it's not inconceivable, but it is close to insurmountable.
It's a commanding lead. I think we know who the weekly winner, but tomorrow the daily winner is also up for grabs, and there's glory. There's glory in the minute particulars. The Friday NFT is a special NFT.
That is a fact. And you know, Racontus, if you can rally up 3 friends to submit, you might box out Slice. I don't know.
Block
But
out Slice.
see, this is the thing though. This is the big part is Slice 4 for 4 votes and stories. Racontus missed out on Monday, and that's what's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt big time. So if that's Slice is one of just that workhorse out there. And let's take a look at the prompt for tomorrow. Tomorrow's prompt: use the following words: sock, troop, mathematics. Where would you go with this if you had the if you had a pen and paper right now and we're trying to win an NFT?
I think like, oh, Boy Scout troop, something about defective socks, and using mathematics to navigate out of being lost.
What can you explain just real quick to me what a defective sock is?
Well, like maybe they were issued some like defective socks and they're all soggy, and they like were supposed to go on this huge hike, and they're risking blisters, and so they have to like shortcut out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Use that mathematics merit badge.
The creative process is a nebulous one, Tom. And you kind of write your way into it and then figure out where it's going.
I mean, you're halfway through a story. I hope to see that submission in tomorrow from you, because that's good. It's good stuff. You know what else is good stuff is besides this transition into the top 5 sentences of the night.
Woo.
Number 5 from Ehud. Then Uncle Nick, he preferred to go by Saint, would drive into the rich part of town and hang the bags on the doors of every politician, judge, and banker with a note: if you don't want your riches to turn to rags, don't let the cat out of the bag.
Boom. The jingle at the end really seals it.
Self-explanatory, really. Number 4 from Mustard Pickle. And the observation itself, don't let the cat out of the bag. It was too late. A curious Einstein opened the bag enough for an angry radioactive cat to latch onto his face. So this was a story about Schrodinger's dissertation to Einstein, Niels Bohr, and Richard Oppenheimer.
No dice on this. The Schrodinger's was I guess not appreciated by our algorithmic overlord.
Number 3, also for Mustard Pickle. Between the gray cat's hair on end and Einstein's zany coif, where the cat ended and human began, could only be determined under close observation. Bohr and Oppenheimer nodded, impressed.
Man, Mustard Pickle story. Missed out on something there. That was
something was happening there.
Yeah.
Storybot liked 2 sentences, but 2 sentences does not a story make. We've seen that before.
That was a tease, Storybot.
Number 2 from Slice. I tackled the cat, peeled off his collar, and put him in the bag. Back at my apartment, I plotted the following session and fed the cat coffee. The pivotal moment where this physical trainer really snaps and loses it on his drive home from that retirement home.
Yeah, I feel like feeding a cat coffee is sort of slipping outside of like society. That's sort of unforgivable. Like
it's definitely yes.
Kind of like petty. It's not like I don't think you could get arrested for it, but like it's a pretty big warning.
I think you could get arrested for stealing somebody's cat.
You can steal it, yeah. But something about feeding the cat coffee like deeply unsettles me.
Yeah, I can tell. Duly noted. Won't send you those coffee infused cat treats for Christmas.
Please
Number 1 from Racontus. Meow, said the cat, perched on a crate in the corner, as if to remind the men that it was indeed out of the bag.
Oh, Racontus, just kind of being like, hey, Storybot, in case you didn't wonder, I am complying with the prompt. Loud and clear.
Loud and clear, letting everybody know, and taking home one of these IOU NFTs in the process. I mean, well deserved.
It's gonna be funny when all these authors are able to retire from their digital billions when these things blow up.
Dude, I'm telling people left and right, they don't even know. They don't even know what they're missing out on.
Yeah.
And
Not
even though
financial advice, but creative advice.
Right. Exactly. And even though Slice and Rock and Toos are some of the stiffest competition I'm sure we'll ever see here on the Clash of the Pencils gridiron, the volume of submissions is so low that you always have a chance right now. Don't wait until it's blown up and it's gone viral and, you can't get in the door because Storybot's, fuming at the ears trying to read all of these submissions. Now is the time when there's 0s to 10s.
Zeros
To 10s. It's not even 0s to 20s.
Yeah.
It's 0s to 10s. Come on, folks. Get in there. Get these NFTs. Become a digital billionaire. And don't take financial advice from me.
Or me.
Or Greg.
Neither of us should be listening.
Neither of us should really
have
any authority on
decision
impact
making.
of culture and but that's not actually in the notes. That's just a whole aside.
Yeah, that's from the bottom of our genuine hearts. Our lawyers didn't tell us to because we can't afford those lawyers. We're just copying the boilerplate. This is the point of the show. It says Darwin would say, Craig, we are on a live stream.
Right.
Oh.
Right. So, and that wraps up another edition of Clash of the Pencils nightly live stream. Join us tomorrow for another epic battle of tales. And until then, we'll see you folks out on the paper. Did your favorite story of the night win? It didn't? That's weird. Did you vote? You didn't? Huh. I wonder if that could be related. Anyone can vote. You don't need a Clash of the Pencils account. Just head over to clash.storysquad.app. The link's in the description. Any Monday to Friday in the 2 hours before the live stream starts. Read the top 3 picks from Storybot 3000 and make your voice heard on who should win the NFT. Be a good citizen, help overthrow the powers that be by voting, specifically in the Clash of the Pencils app every night.